We're getting a ton of positive feedback on our one success habit video you need, and this is going to be a follow-up to that. A picture's worth 1,000 words. We're going to show you the importance of pictures and how to access them quickly. Smash that subscribe button. So, let's talk about pictures. I'm going to give you an outline before we even get into this. We're going to talk to you about pictures, whether it's of houses or whatever your product or service may be. After that, we're going to go into pictures of information. Maybe it's ID cards, maybe it's legal documents. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about pictures and their associations with contacts. And then, finally, we're going to give you a bunch of hacks on how to access them quickly. Now, here's my disclaimer. This is all on the iPhone platform, because if you're using a Droid, you're honestly probably pretty subhuman. Number one is going to be pictures. If you're in the real estate game, if you're out there looking at a house, whether you care or not, whether you're going to buy it or not, one of the things you're going to probably want to do is take pictures of the outside, the inside if you're allowed to, take pictures of repairs, take pictures of things that are wonderful too, because you may use these pictures later for the obvious. Listing, creating flyers, selling your houses. However, if you're taking pictures of things that may not necessarily be right, like repairs, you can also bounce those pictures around to contractors. Videos are good for this kind of thing too. Think about it. How many times have you flushed a toilet, it didn't really work properly, and then you tried to describe it to a plumber? Well, if you just made a video of it, you could send it to him, and he could either tell you what to do or fix it himself. So if you think about it and you're out there and you're looking at a house in Morristown, New Jersey, and you want to figure out how to pump that up really quickly, if you'll break out your iPhone and you just scroll down to places and you can't remember the address and you click on it, it'll give you a map of the United States of America.
Hey guys, Elvis here. I was just editing this and I realized that this was filmed pre-iOS 14. So I wanted to go ahead and give you some updates. What Chuck was describing is still valid, but it's a little bit different. So if you go to your photos and go to the search tab, all the way on the bottom right, it will actually take you to somewhere where you could type things in. And as examples like photos, peoples, places, you'll see moments, peoples, and places. So as long as you have your location turned on every single time you take a picture, it'll label it. So for me, it's home, Fairlawn, Fairview, Oradell, Englewood Cliffs, New York, so on and so forth. So as long as I have my location on, it was able to actually just pinpoint where I took it. For the old iOS, it's like Chuck described. You could actually just go on the map. When you try to go into the search bar and go to places, it'll show you the map and you can zoom in, zoom out, and you could basically just pick and choose how you wanted to see it. But now it actually gives you like a little square with the area that you were taking the picture in from the map, as an example. So it's not like before. So if you press on any of these, like for example, if I were to press on Englewood Cliffs, it'll show all the pictures that I took in Englewood Cliffs, or that I uploaded into my phone in Englewood Cliffs. It works that way too. So if you were to download the picture from the internet and upload it onto your phone in Englewood Cliffs and you had your location on, it's going to be labeled as Englewood Cliffs, unless you're taking it from another iPhone that already had it labeled. So it's just metadata that it's tagged. If you really want to get organized with it, you could actually go as far as to label the people too. So right above where it says people, you can go there, you could press the person of the face that you recognize, and you can label it. So if you label it, you could actually just type their name in the future, and iPhone will recognize it, and it'll tell you, hey, that's this person. So you can literally just type their name into the search bar and all their photos will pop up. It's amazing. I don't build iPhones, don't know how they do it, but it's there and it's useful.
You could just spread it out till you find the town, and then you could look around till you see a picture of that particular house or the person who wanted to sell it to you that jogs your memory. Now, if you can't remember the town, but you can remember the month, the date, hopefully you keep a planner, and if you don't, we're going to have to do a video on that too. You can go back to when you actually met that person, go back into your pictures, and if you go down towards the bottom on library, once you have the month, date, time, day, and year, you can very easily find it and access it, which will allow you to see the particular property and know what it is you're talking about, know what it is that needs to be fixed, and you'll be able to move forward in a timely manner. The next thing that I'm going to advocate you take pictures of and do it all the time is information. Taking pictures of information a lot of times is going to be more important than you can possibly imagine. We closed a deal just last week in Stockholm, New Jersey, where we had this particular property under contract for something like 3 years, and we had a deed on it. We had to go back and get a closing document re-signed before we paid off the short sale, and one of the sellers didn't believe that we actually met with him, and he was freaking out, and so was his lawyer. And I told him, look, I got the whole file here. I got pictures of all the closing documents. I got his social security number. I have his driver's license, and I have a selfie of me and him together. And the lawyer went, oh my God, you have his driver's license? Wow, he lost that at the start of the pandemic, and he keeps getting online at the DMV to get it and never makes the cutoff, probably because he's an alcoholic. And if you can just send us a picture of his ID, at least we think they'll accept that at the liquor store, so they know he's of age and he can just keep buying booze instead of paying me extra to do it. Not really sure I helped that guy's case, but then all of a sudden he believed that, holy shit, we really were the people that bought his house, and he had his driver's license. He was more than willing to sign whatever documents he missed in the presence of a lawyer and a notary, and the deal closed. So the way that I accessed that one, number one, I looked at the date and the time in my planner. Then I just went into the little folders on the bottom that say years, months, days, and found it that way. But there's actually another way, and I told you about Places too, where you can access these things, where if you go into your texts and you pull up a contact, and then you go to the contact and you hit the information button, at the bottom, if you see all with photos, you'll see every photo that you sent back and forth with that contact. And it's a lot of times a really good idea to send those people the photo that you took together the day that they met, a selfie of you and them, maybe send them their driver's license, and make sure all the is backed up on the cloud. Whether you're in real estate or anything else, in this day and age, you're in an information business, and if you lose it, I mean, just go get a job. Seriously, there's no other reason to continue. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the importance of saving a picture of you and your contact together on their contact card. This is a little interesting because there's a lot of reasons why later this is going to be incredibly useful. I mean, number one, it's going to show you who you're talking to. I mean, there's over 10,000 contacts in my phone. When somebody calls me, a picture pops up. I see them. A lot of times it's a picture of them the date that I met them. I'm like, oh my God, wow, this guy got old. It shows the length of the relationship, where if you are going to get into some stuff like Regulation D, private placement memorandums, and creating hedge funds like we're doing, and we'll make videos on that shortly too, you need a pre-existing relationship with the individuals that give money to that fund that you set up, and this is just one more way to document it. But I want you to also think about the value of subliminal programming, and if a picture of you and a contact is a selfie of you two together, and you share that with somebody, or even if they share that with somebody else afterwards, they're still gonna go, holy that's Chuck. Wow, this guy's connected to everybody. I really like that guy. And the more times they see you, the more impressions they get. I mean, this is the same reason why realtors put their ugly mugs on cards, because it makes you remember them, okay? A lot of times it's actually been proven that if you're not that nice to look at, you're even more memorable. So ugly people, selfies every time. Do it for me. Finally, I'm gonna give you guys just some hacks on how to access this stuff quickly. Number one, you can very easily build an album of places, times, events, different things that have happened in your life. And I mean, if you're organized, if you remember to do it, this is a great habit to get into. It's really been more than priceless. It can also keep you out of trouble, and believe it or not, even keep you out of jail if you can access your alibi really quickly. All right, places we already told you about, where if you scroll down, you can access the map, the United States comes up, there's everywhere you've ever been that you took a picture. And if you don't have that, it's because you didn't turn on the location setting on your iPhone, so please do that for us. The library is gonna be incredibly important when we're talking about dates, times, and locations. This is something you need to learn how to use. You can also use favorites if it's just something you want to recall quickly. You can heart a picture, pull it back up, and boom, there it is. We're on a beach together. It was wonderful. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. I hope you understand the importance of accessing pictures. It's just like accessing information quickly. Honestly, many times it's more valuable. It works the same for videos. The outline again, just so you know, if you go over it, we showed you how to take pictures of houses or whatever your product may be. We showed you how to take pictures of legal information like ID cards and documents. Showed you how to take a picture of you and somebody else and save it with their contact, and there is that importance of subliminal impressions, which you don't have to believe me now, but make it a habit. It will come back around to you. And finally, you got those hacks on how to access these pictures. I hope you guys really like this. If you did, could you like this video for me? Do me a favor, subscribe as well, and share this video all over the internet. Chuck Kohout, always be closing. Bye for now.